If you're in the infield ready to rock and roll, I'll give that lineup quickly as these guys roll back out here. But, man, 29 cars here starting tonight's A feature here for night number 1 of the King America at Lucas Oil Speedway. 71 cars timing in, man. Just a phenomenal field of modifieds, and we should get ready to see a heck of an A main.
Yeah, it is, and this is a murderer's row A main getting ready to roll out right here. I mean, my gosh, look at these ones that just rolled on the racetrack right now. Any of these guys could win this right up front here in this one for sure. And I don't want to sleep on the Chisholms either. They're going to have a little bit of work to do, but certainly think they could contend as well as could that 4W Tyler Wolf.
Of course, one thing we haven't talked about so far this evening, your national championship points leader rolling into the evening. And I got this wrong the last time we were in competition. I'll get it right this time, I promise you. It is the 20 of Rodney Sanders out of Happy, Texas. He is your Vila Metal Services points leader. Jim Chisholm currently second, Tanner Mullins third, Joe Chisholm fourth, and Kyle Strickler the top 5 after Rocket Raceway Park rolling into the program this evening. As again, you're watching the Summit Racing Equipment USMTS Modified A main roll around the racetrack and stack up in its line proper starting order. Very quickly, the starting lineup: row 1, Terry Phillips, Dustin Sorensen; row 2, Cade Dillard, Alex Williamson; Tanner Mullins, Jason Hughes; row 3, Mark Smith, Dustin Strand; row 4, Nick Bittinger, Keith Foss; row 5, Joe Duvall, Tyler Wolf; row 6, Joe Chisholm, Jacob Blease; row 7, Rodney Sanders, Trevor Hughes; row 8, Reese Solander, Tyler Davis; row 9, Jim Chisholm, Jason Persley; row 10, row 11, Chad Wheeler, Cale Westover; row 12, Ryan Wetstein, Dustin Hodges, Kyle Strickler, Gary Christian; row 13, row 14 is Kyle Brown and Nathan Smith, and Keith Hammett brings up the tail of the field all by his lonesome. So as again, we get the last few cars out onto the racetrack to stack up in their lineup order. Trenton, no 4 wide here on night number 1. So at this point, I'll go ahead and just turn it down to you. Who are you looking at as far as someone to watch tonight, and who's your pick to win tonight's 30-lap A main?
Yeah, well, as far as ones to watch, I'm going to keep my eye on that 8 as far as somebody having to work from the tail of the field coming up forward through here. I think Strickler certainly will push forward quite a bit. And as far as a pick to win, you know, I did Rinkin's pre-race with him earlier today, and Cade Dillard was one of the two, so he's starting in a really good spot. So I'm going to roll with the 97 to get this thing done tonight. Although, man, my confidence is pretty high for any number of these drivers out here tonight. This one's going to be fun.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to take the low-hanging fruit there on the outside of row number 1. Doug took Phillips. I'm taking Sorensen off the outside of row number 1. Lights are out very quickly. Out for turn number 4. It's showtime. Field rolls off through turns 1 and 2. Sorensen, your early leader down the back straightaway into turns 3 and 4. Phillips will work the bottom part of the racetrack. Dillard, Williamson, then it's Mullins and Hughes. 3 wide down the front straightaway between Strand, Foss, and the 2 SS of Mark Smith. That's a great battle just outside of the top 5. 3 wide once again down the back straightaway into 3 and 4. Dustin Strand up top. Then it's Foss through the middle. Hughes on the bottom. Here comes Smith as well. Behind them still 2 and 3 wide the rest of the way through the field as everybody sorts out where their preferred line is. Battle for the second spot. Here comes Cade Dillard in car number 97. Dillard on the bottom of the racetrack. That forces Terry Phillips up to the top side of the speedway. Side by side, the pair run down the front stretch back into turns 1 and 2. They better get that sorted out quick, fast, and in a hurry because Dustin Sorensen already out to a 1.6 second lead. We got a problem in turns 3 and 4. It's the 21K of Kyle Brown. So very quickly, a G-Style Energy Services caution flag flying for the 21K of Kyle Brown. Looks like maybe some minor damage on the front nose of that 21K. FK Rodden's instant replay coming up, and yeah, you see him just get loose, and looks like he might have gotten clipped by either the 29 or the 58X as those two went by. I do see some minor damage on the 29, so that appears to be where some of that nose damage may have come from on the 21K. Trent, did you see anything over there from your viewpoint? Anything different than that, or?
No, I was actually watching down on the other turn.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, happened right in front of me, but didn't see a bit of it.
Happened right in front of you with your back turned, right?
Oh yeah. Hey, give another call out to Richard Turner, man. Great job on this racetrack tonight.
Absolutely.
This thing's rocking and rolling.
Ice slick from top to bottom, just like these guys prefer. They can move all around it right now. Destin Sorensen really likes the top line of the racetrack. Dillard was running the bottom. We'll see how that shakes out when they come back to green. Real quickly, a big shout out to Zach Gerhardt at the Fairmont Raceway. Said a little bit of track prep taking place today. Getting ready for the 2025 season. Zach, can't wait to get up and see you there at the Fairmont Raceway. And want to say hi to Kelsey's family as well. Kelsey giving me a little nudge. Say, hey, the family's at home watching. Make sure they know that she says hi. So Kelsey says hi. She's doing good. Everything's fine. No shenanigans here. Janet says she doesn't need to go to bed earlier, though. So you might have to call and have a conversation with her about that. I'm just reporting what I hear. That's all. Somehow I turned into the messenger up here, Trent, and I'm not real sure how that happened, but, nevertheless.
Best bet right there is just take that headphone knob and max it on out.
Oh, Dustin Sorensen chooses the bottom of the racetrack after he had been running the top. That gives TP the top side. Off of turn number 4. Here we go. Green flag back in the air. Your Gorsuch Performance Solutions green lights are on. Our Summit Racing Equipment USMTS Modified A-Main back underway. Sorensen will slide from bottom to the top of the exit of turn number 2, grabs the top part of the racetrack. Cade Dillard going to hang tough, though. Here comes the number 97. Problems over in turns at number 3. Yellow flag and wave again. That was one of our early contenders. Dustin Strand is around, so is Tyler Wolf and the 91 of Joe Duvall, all involved. Wolf.
Nathan Smith still rolling in that one. He's got a little front end damage on the 2SS.
Okay. So Nathan Smith might have been involved there as well, one way or another. FK Rodden's instant replay. We'll see. Well, there's the 4 of Wolf, the 91 of Duval on your screen. There's Dustin Strand. And looks like Smith just had some momentum, rolled up on the back of Strand, and those two got together. And Wolf and Wheeler, unfortunately, or Wolf and Duval, unfortunately, nowhere to go really in that one. So Smith, again, just kind of had some more momentum than what the 71 of Strand did. Looked like Strand was having trouble with traction on the bottom part of the racetrack, and Smith just ran up on the back of him, probably faster than he thought, and didn't get it shut down in time. And again, Wolf and Duval just nowhere to go. So 4 laps down now, 26 to go. Our G-Style Energy Services caution lights still on. Sorensen, Dillard, Williamson, Phillips, and Mullins, your top 5. Strand has been put back in his running order in 6th. 7th is Foss, 8th is Hughes, 9th is the 91 of Duval. Bittinger rounds out the top 10. And that's Trevor Hughes, Joe Chisholm, Jacob Bleese, Tyler Davis, Rodney Sanders, Kel Westover, Reese Solander, Jim Chisholm, Jason Persley, Chad Wheeler, Kyle Strickler, Nathan Smith, Ryan Wetstein, Gary Christian, Dustin Hodges, Keith Hammett, Kyle Brown, Mark Smith will rejoin in the 2SS, as will the 4 of Wolf. Choose cone out on the front straightaway. Guys choosing which line they would prefer to restart the race in. Both Dillard and Sorensen opting for the bottom of the racetrack. That gives Alex Williamson the top side of the speedway in turns 1 and 2. We'll see if Williamson can maybe get a great restart and challenge Sorensen into turns 1 and 2, stick to the top side of the speedway and wrestle the lead away, or if we're going to see Sorensen back out front. That answer coming within the next lap as our G-Style Energy Services caution lights go down. Gorsuch Performance Solutions green flag getting ready to go back in the air. Yep, there's our answer. Just too strong of a restart from the 19 of Sorensen immediately. 3 car lengths the lead down the back straightaway into turns 3 and 4. Here comes Cade Dillard as well, looking to drive back by the 15 of Williamson, a pair of World of Outlaws late model Touring Series drivers moonlighting in the modified here tonight out in front of your field at the Lucas Oil Speedway. Williamson back to third. Fourth is Terry Phillips, and Tanner Mullins continues to round out the top 5. Best battle on the racetrack right now. Keith Foss looking to the left side of Mullins. Down into turns 1 and 2. Foss working the bottom part of the racetrack. Mullins up top following Williamson off the exit of turn number 2. Those two still side by side. Down the back straightaway into 3 and 4. Fifth under protest from the 95 of Foss. A little bit further on back, you're watching a gaggle of cars on your screen at home. 3, nearly 4 wide at times as they work their way off of turn 4 down the front straightaway. The gap between your leaders, 4 to 5 car lengths, back into 3 and 4. Phillips starting to put pressure on Alex Williamson for the battle for the 3rd spot. Phillips nearly has it at the line. Williamson says no, but Phillips going to challenge him once again back in the bottom of turns 1 and 2. Foss has gotten by the 0-2 of Tanner Mullins for the 5th spot. Mullins still challenging on the top part of the racetrack as they work their way off of turn number 4. Behind him, there's Joe Duval, Joe Chisholm, Hughes, Sanders, and Tyler Davis all battling each other back into turns 1 and 2. Sanders on the bottom part of the racetrack, going to drive up underneath the 65 of Davis. Says hello and goodbye. Davis right through the middle part of the racetrack, grabs the top side of the speedway, but Sanders still better. As again, we're going to recheck the battle at the front of the field. It's starting to tighten up. The car length and a half, 2. Now the distance down the back straightaway into turns 3 and 4. Keith Dillard working the bottom part of the racetrack. Opens up the exit. Sorensen high, wide, and handsome. Car length, the gap. Back into turns 1 and 2. Dillard edges ahead on the bottom part of the racetrack. Sorensen too much momentum on top. Drives back out around the number 97, but definitely knows he's there as a pair of World of Outlaws late model regulars doing battle tonight here at the Lucas Oil Speedway. Back into turns 1 and 2. Sorensen up top. Dillard along the bottom of the racetrack. Dillard going to slide out, gives Sorensen room. Sorensen hustles back around the outside, but you got to figure Sorensen trying to do the math and figure out if he's got to do something different to keep the 97 behind him. Down the front straightaway, half a car length, back into 1 and 2. Sorensen chooses a different line this time. Dials up the middle part of the racetrack, slides out, grabs the moisture off the top part of the racetrack. Seemed to work as he keeps the 97 at bay, back into turns 3 and 4. Dillard to the extreme bottom part of the racetrack, slides out to the middle part of the speedway. Sorensen still has the momentum up top as this time by about halfway through. Yellow flag waving right as that one, the battle for the lead was really starting to get good. We got a problem underneath the 58X of Gary Christian. Christian has hammered the wall with that 58X, you see the right side completely folded in on that race car. That looks like some serious damage on the back end of that thing. Ooh, that's the left rear of that chassis shoved over. That is not good on the 58X. I would believe he's probably going to a backup car the rest of the weekend just based on the way that looked. Well, Trenton, we get an opportunity to all catch our collective breaths, but man, at the front of the field, that one was starting to get really good.
Man, here's that FK Rod. It's a replay from up top there, taking a look down into turn number 1. And yeah, boy, Christian was hard up into the wall.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really starting to get good. That's one of the, you hate to see that yellow flag come out in a moment like that, because we hope we can kind of rekindle that side by side, but you just never really know how each of these guys is going to get fired off and what line they choose and how it all plays out. So, boy, it was really intense. And that was great racing right up front there. A lot of respect between those two. About 3 or 4 laps before the yellow over in 1, Dustin kind of got his right side just kind of right on the edge a little more than he had the previous laps in 1 and 2, and Cade gave him plenty of room, and then it kind of got tight over here between the two of them, and there was probably, you couldn't have probably put a piece of paper between them, but still a lot of respect there as they didn't make any contact. So that is greatness up front here in action.
Greatness, and not only greatness, but a bit of a chess match going on right now. You figure, obviously Sorensen knew that Dillard was there. Dillard probably had the faster race car, more momentum at that point in time, but Sorensen was able to kind of change his line just enough to hold the 97 at bay. Now you know you've got to try something different. You pick the bottom of the racetrack. You've been running the middle to top. You're going to restart on the bottom, but now Cade Dillard, instead of starting on the bottom behind you like he has the last 2 times, now he's to your outside after he's seen you run the top and being able to hold you off. So this is going to get interesting on this restart. I wonder what Cade Dillard's maybe got up his sleeve and what Sorensen's going to do to try to hold him at bay. Going to be interesting to see this restart here as the G-Style Energy Services caution lights go out. Terry Phillips, Alex Williamson, Keith Foss, Tanner Mullins, Joe Duvall, and Trevor Hughes, top 8 off of turn 4. We come back to the Gorsuch Performance Solutions green flag. Dillard will choose to follow in the wheel tracks of the 19. Got tight, pushed up the racetrack. That allows Terry Phillips to the inside of the 97. So before Dillard can resume the battle for the lead, he's got to fend off the battle for second between he and Terry Phillips. Phillips good here at the Lucas Oil Speedway as well. Dillard right through the middle part of the racetrack runs up to the backside of the number 19. Sorensen, 3 car lengths, now 4 back into turns 1 and 2. Phillips back to third. Still a good battle for 4th and 5th between Foss and Mullins behind them. 2 by 2 the rest of the way as everybody once again going to have to sort it out throughout the remainder of the field. Dillard's got a little bit of room to breathe between he and Terry Phillips, so you figure now he's going to concentrate on hitting his marks, go back to work on the number 19 of Dustin Sorensen. For now, we'll leave that battle alone. We'll keep half an eye on it. If it tightens up, we'll go back to it. Best battle on the racetrack between the 95 and the 02. Foss and Mullins side by side down into 3 and 4. Mullins edges out in front of that one. Behind him, there's Joe Duvall, Alex Williamson. Here comes Rodney Sanders and Trevor Hughes as well. 4 cars march 2 by 2 off of turn 2 down the back straight away. Into turns 3 and 4 behind them. Tyler Davis battling with Joe Chisholm as well. We got to turn our attention back to the front, though, as that battle starting to heat up once again. Dillard around the bottom part of the racetrack. Sorensen up top. Sorensen still just too much momentum on the top side of the speedway, but Dillard is right there. Sorensen middle to top. Dillard bottom to middle. Off of turn at number 4, nose to nose. To pass the flag stand back into turns 1 and 2. 20 laps down, 10 laps to go. Cade Dillard putting the pressure to the number 19 of Sorensen. Behind him, there's a dual view on your screen at home. Joe Duvall battling with Alex Williamson and Rodney Sanders right there as well. That's a 3-car battle. Works its way off of turn 4 is your battle for the lead. Hustles off of turn number 2. Sorensen has the preferred line right now. And turn 2 is his best part of the racetrack. That's really where he's able to hold the 97 off lap after lap. Down the front straightaway, back into turns 1 and 2 one more time. Dillard to try the middle now, drives it off the bottom of the racetrack. Sorensen comes down, grabs a little bit of grip, and 2 car lengths to the gap, back into 3 and 4 once again. Terry Phillips, the veteran, watching the battle out in front of him, starting to inch ever closer himself as we've got 7 laps to go here in this one. Dillard harder to the bottom of the racetrack, slides up to the middle, lets Sorensen know he's there. Now a car length the gap between them. We got another caution in turns 3 and 4. No. The 38C of Jason Persley brings out the G-Style Energy Services caution flag, and you know Cade Dillard behind the wheel of the number 97 right now, not a happy camper. He wanted, I believe, that one to stay green. FK Rodin's instant replay coming at you. You see Persley on your screen, working off a turn 2 down the back straightaway, and gets some help from the 88 of Nathan Smith. You see the right rear quarter panel shoved forward on that 38C. Track officials currently going to work on that quarter panel. So now, Trenton Berry, if you're Cade Dillard, you don't have laps to rebuild momentum. You've got 7 laps to try to figure out what to do with the driver of the Longhorn number 19 out in front of you. You know he's been good off the top of the racetrack. What, if anything, can you do if you're Cade Dillard right here?
Matt, you said chess a little bit earlier. I wonder if Cade saved anything. You know, maybe he's not showing his whole hand here. Maybe he has. That's something we won't know until after the race is over. So we'll just have to wait and see on that one. Is Jason restarting here at the tail, Eric?
No. I'm getting a note now that Jason does get his spot back in the lineup. So.
So we'll see what happens out front. Been a good race so far, man. And TP's right there. If either of those 2 guys bobble at all, he'd pounce on him in a second. Good run for Tanner Mullins too. Tanner's come up through there nicely and done a great job tonight as well. And shout out to Keith Foss.
Yeah, without a doubt, great run for all of those guys inside the top 5, especially that 95 of Keith Foss tonight. Of course, the 20 of Rodney Sanders has had a good little run himself. He started back in the 15th spot. Currently rides, 8th. So +7 for Sanders here tonight. Joe Duvall nearly in the top 5 after starting in the 11th spot. So he's moved forward in this one as well. Phil going to double up, and once again, Cade Dillard choosing the top side of the racetrack. You got to wonder, Trenton, I think you probably have hit the nail on the head here. I'm willing to bet that Dillard's got just a little bit of something left. He was starting to turn up the wick and drive harder and harder into the corner of those last couple laps. I'd be willing to bet as long as he's able to stay beside the 19 on this restart, you might see some fireworks here into turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, the gloves are off. I just I hope we see just a close battle to the finish here, regardless of how that top 4 or 5 or whatever shakes out. But boy, it's been really good. So really going to be a really exciting finish here. Should be.
By the way, Kyle Strickler still mired in the middle of the field, but +12 from the back. So a decent night for him as far as a recovery from not even making the program himself out of the B. If you got to take a provisional, that's the type of result that you want. So we'll keep half an eye on that as well as the field comes back to the Gorsuch Performance Solution green flag. Much harder into turns 1 and 2. Cade Dillard nails the top of the racetrack that time. Keeps it within half a car length of 19. Slide job in 3 and 4. Dials it up. Sorensen reads it like a book. Turns left off of turn 4. Sorensen still your leader. Trenton Berry, you said it. Gloves are off now. Cade Dillard absolutely threw a haymaker at the 19 of Sorensen. Sorensen was able to survive it. Now Sorensen will run the middle, slide to the top. Dillard up top. They'll come off of turn 4, nose to nose. There's Terry Phillips as well. 3 cars battling for the lead with 5 laps to go here tonight at Lucas Oil Speedway. Sorensen slides up off the top of the racetrack. Cade Dillard just to his left. Terry Phillips not throwing the hat away either. Off the top of the racetrack, Sorensen continues to lead with 4 laps to go. Dillard not able to run a clean groove as Terry Phillips hounding the left side of car number 97. Now, Dillard bottom to the top, has to wait on the 19 to race back around him. Sorensen out to 4 car lengths, back into 3 and 4. Phillips still hampering the number 97 to the left side. Side by side off of turn number 4, down the front straightaway, back into 1 and 2. Dillard along the bottom of the racetrack, hard to the bottom of the speedway, slides out. Sorensen just way too good off the top part of the racetrack. He might have enough breathing room here in this one. Off of turn number 4, 2 laps to go for Dustin Sorensen behind the wheel of car number 19. It's Sorensen, Cade Dillard, Terry Phillips, Keith Foss, and Tanner Mullinger, top 5. Rodney Sanders trying to work his way by the 15 of Alex Williamson for the 6th spot. Hochatown Saloon's last call. White flag in the air. 1 lap to go for Dustin Sorensen. If Cade Dillard had anything left, he used it all up on the opening 2 laps after that restart. Sorensen said, no, sir. I haven't forgot how to do it behind the wheel of a modified either. Off of turn number 4, he'll pick up the win on night number 1 of King of America here at the Lucas Oil Speedway. Cade Dillard goes 2nd, Terry Phillips 3rd, Keith Foss 4th, and Tanner Mullins rounds out the top 5. Rodney Sanders 6th, Alex Williamson 7th, Joe Duvall 8th, Joe Chisholm 9th, and Dustin Strand round out the top 10. From there, it's Trevor Hughes, Tyler Davis, Jason Hughes, Cale Westover, and Mark Smith, the top 15. Jim Chisholm, Kyle Strickler, Jason Persley, Tyler Wolf, and Ryan Wetstein, the top 20. Jacob Leash, Chad Wheeler, Kyle Brown, Nick Bittinger, Reese Solander, your top 25. Nathan Smith, Dustin Hodges, and Keith Hammett, the balance of the field. My, oh my, Trenton. You nailed it. Gloves were off and the fireworks came out on